That's what happens when you have freaking a soft serve machine within walking distance of where you live, and you can go there anytime and get unlimited ice cream. And then I'm like, oh, I'm walking all around campus, like I'm losing all this weight. No. Hey guys, it's Mimi. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. We have my husband Eric on today because we are going to be talking about some tips for incoming freshmen who are starting at Brigham Young University. We both go to BYU right now, so this is going to be mostly towards like BYU students in Provo, but if you go to a different BYU campus or really any college campus, we're going to have some like general like freshman tips and advice and everything. So yeah, we're excited.
So I actually started off school my freshman year at BYU, and so I've been at BYU the whole time, whereas Mimi actually started off at the University of Utah, so she'll kind of have a little bit different perspective being a different part of Utah and then coming down.
Before we get started, I just want to say I would love and appreciate it so much if you decided to subscribe to my channel. I'm a pretty small YouTuber here, so every single time I see someone new subscribes, it makes my heart so happy. So if you enjoy this content, be sure to subscribe, and let's just jump right in. Okay, so we're gonna divide this video up into like different topics. So
check out the timestamps in the bottom if you want to see something particular.
And so the first like topic that we're gonna go into is talking about friends. I was starting school, like that's what I was most nervous for.
And I wasn't at all.
One of the first things that I was scared of is that, I mean, I went to school in state. So I was scared that like people were gonna be starting college with people that they were friends with in high school. And that actually did happen to me. My roommate, my first year, went to school with like all of her friends. So like, I remember the first night I moved into my dorm room, I was like so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like gonna make best friends with my roommate and we're gonna be like up talking all night, and then the next day we'll like walk through our classes. No, you know what she did? My first night, like I went in, I met her for like 2 seconds, and she's like, okay, bye, I'm gonna go hang out with my friends. And I was like, and I literally got left in my dorm room. I was so sad and alone, and my mom and sister just left, and I was like crying. So this is not encouraging.
That actually brings up a good tip that I would suggest as far as like making friends and stuff, is even though you know people or whatever, you want to go hang out with them, I would wait a little bit, because I know the exact same thing happened. I was in the dorms, I was in Helaman at BYU, so you know, you have like 20 dorm rooms in a hall, and there were like several people that we didn't even know for like maybe a week, because they just had these other friends that they were like, oh my gosh, we're all at school, let's go hang out.
Yeah.
And so we just never saw them. Like they'd be like, oh hey, see you guys, and that's the only time I saw them. So it actually means that they didn't get to know us as well, kind of set them back as far as getting to meet people.
If you're coming with friends, like it's okay to go hang out with people you knew from high school, but don't let that limit you from getting to know the people around you. Next, we're gonna talk about also just where to find friends. So like I said, going into college, I thought I was just gonna become like best friends with my roommate, like you do in, like you see in all the movies, and you know, like, I don't know, that's how I always thought it would be, and then I ended up not really talking to my roommate at all. Like we did not really, it's not that we didn't get along, but I just didn't really know her, we didn't really vibe or whatever. And so we want to talk about some other places that you can meet friends. And if you're starting school, hopefully this will just like encourage you to that even if you don't get along with your roommate, that doesn't mean you're not going to have friends. There's so many other places.
Yeah, I feel like your roommate is someone that you need to be respectful and cordial to, but usually people aren't that great of friends with their roommate, because you're all up in each other's space all the time and everything.
So true.
Well, I think for us, I mean, this is kind of specific to Helaman at BYU, but something I did that was amazing that like at the time I didn't think much of, like, was just that whenever we'd go to the Cannon Center, whenever we go get dinner, I just started knocking on every door in the hall, all like 20 doors, and just like bang on both sides at once, and they would come out and be like, yo, we're all going to dinner, and just get this mob of everyone from the hall. Because like, here's the thing, nobody wants to go out there and make friends, nobody wants to have to like go out and do that, but everyone wants to have friends.
Right.
And so when a mob of people knock on your door and say come get dinner, they're like, oh cool. But if you have to go do that, nobody wants to.
You have to be willing to put yourself out there. And I know when you're new, everybody, like, the mindset is like, well, I'm new, people should be coming to me. But just remember, when you're starting college as a freshman, everybody is in the same boat. Everybody is expecting that. And no one, like Eric said, wants to be the person to take initiative. But if making friends is important to you and you want to be able to find a great group of friends, like, you need to be a little brave and like just put yourself out there. Another thing I know some people did was like, in their hall, they would just keep the door to their dorm room open. So that way when people walk by, if you're like playing music or whatever, you can be like, hey, what's up? Like, and just start talking to people.
Yeah.
I never really did that. I think I was just too scared, but.
Yeah, we always.
You kept your door open?
Yeah, pretty much all the time. And it just, even if you don't talk to everybody or whatever, it just made it more open so people knew you're willing to talk. And if you do things like that where you show you're open and whatever, it's less intimidating to other people to actually talk to you, so.
Totally. It is pretty important to be open like this your freshman year, because the friends and people that you know and the friends you make in your freshman year, that's usually who you like are roommates with the following year. And I know it's easy to say like, well, I'll just make friends like later, like next year when I meet people in my major, but really it's good to be open to it when you first come, because that's when most of the friendships are made, especially the first couple weeks. I know the first couple weeks it's kind of like scary, you're away from your family, you're trying to figure out the campus, but don't push off making friends, because really that's when everybody is still developing those relationships.
Everyone's a little bit unsure, and so it's a lot easier to make friends then, versus once people find that like one or two people that they're comfortable with, they'll kind of just latch onto that and chill. But if you're able to push through that at the start, you'll be able to make more connections and have more friends that way instead. And I mean, some people are just not even concerned with having friends and like, I'm just gonna go to school, learn my stuff and get out of there. But it's always good to have people you actually know and have a friend group there, because
that's what college is for. Well, it's for education, but like you have fun when you have a group of friends.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes everything better.
Another place that you can make friends is obviously in your classes. I was never really good at this until like literally like last year. I finally was like, I'm just like, it doesn't matter, I'm just gonna try to make friends with people. So like, when you walk into class, usually the first couple classes is the best time to like start getting to know people in the class. So like, there's nothing wrong though with like just sitting down next to someone and saying, hi, how are you? My name's Mimi, what's your name? Because everybody would be happy to like, you know what I mean? Like, no one's gonna be like, oh, she's weird for saying that. They'll be like, oh my gosh, like, hi, and they're wanting someone to talk to them.
I was never great at making friends in classes. I made a lot of like acquaintances, like people I talked to in the class, and then I felt comfortable like talking to and joking around with, but then we never hung out. So I guess the big thing there is just like, if you want to have friends in your class, you got to actually make plans with them outside of class.
Yeah, which I feel like is pretty easy. Like, I made a lot of friends when I took Korean, just because that was a class that was super, super hard for like everybody. So we'd all study outside of class too. So if you see someone, or maybe it's like someone who you think is cute, but you can always like use that as a transition, like, oh hey, we should study, and then you could actually end up being friends outside of it. So another tip I wanted to give for the first day of class is like, sometimes if it's a smaller, like a classroom setting, you have to like all stand up and like introduce yourself and say something interesting about yourself. So just start thinking now of like, what is something interesting, because it's the worst when you're sitting there in class.
For someone that gets nervous on the spot.
I always got nervous because I'm like, crap, I don't know anything interesting about me. If I had like, I don't know, if I'd been thinking about it, I could probably think of something, but like, I also never can think of it.
It's really not that important what you say, so don't worry about it.
I think it is.
It's really not a big deal. Like, every once in a while,
I get nervous.
Someone says like something hilarious every once in a while, and then everyone just kind of like forgets about it. So, I mean, it's not like it's high stakes. Like, this is my one chance to make an impression on the class. If I blow it, it's all over. Ha! You know, like. That's
how I see it, honestly, but it's not that big of a deal.
It's really not. Yeah, another really good way that I made friends, because sometimes it's hard in like a giant group setting. Like if your classes are all big lecture halls and stuff like that, it's hard to meet a lot of people. So I really liked church as well, like sacrament meeting, I don't really like meet people there. But like Sunday school and stuff, it's a lot easier to talk to people. And then also FHE, it's really cool at BYU just because I mean, everyone's away from their family, so they set up like FHE groups. FHE groups were great because you only had like 8-10 people in a group, and so it was a lot easier for me to make friends that way because it's a smaller group of people you're talking to, and you actually get to know them, and they're the same people each week. And so I would say, even though it might be kind of awkward at the start and you might have other plans you want to go do and whatever, just make the sacrifice and go to FHE consistently, because you can make a lot of really good friendships there, as well as be maybe a support for people that you wouldn't normally talk to as well, kind of help them out, because sometimes people aren't really good at making friends and FHE is the only thing they go to, and if you never show up, then they're never gonna be friends with you just because they aren't very good at putting themselves out there. So
yeah,
it can definitely be a good way to make an impact on people and make friends with some people that you may not be as outgoing or whatever, that are still good friends. Church activities, I didn't meet a ton of people at them because it's like they're huge and everything, but it's still good to go and support everything, and you just get to know people better in general.
And you can just go up and introduce yourself. Like, I actually met people at church activities because I would just be like, hi, how are you? Or like, if there's something like, I don't know, if the weather's bad, you can be like, oh, the weather sucks. And you can just start a conversation. Well, like, that's not a good idea. Well, that's not a good one. And going along with that, don't be afraid to try new things. Like, you don't want to go to college and just like be scared, or you know what I mean? Like, put yourself out there, do stuff outside your comfort zone, because you never know what you actually might
try drugs, just experiment.
Oh my gosh, stop it.
No, that's a really good tip, because like that's something that in my hall, like I said, there's like 20 different dorms, and so everyone had different things that they enjoyed or whatever, but we were all really open to trying new stuff. And so that's where I found like different hobbies I was interested in that I never knew about. Or you try something, you don't love it, but like at least you're able to kind of connect with people through that.
One last thing about making friends is it is okay to not fit in at first. I mean, we're talking about like different places to meet friends, but there are so many people I know who didn't meet their friends until like the next semester, like winter semester, or like a couple months in. Like, we talked about how it's easiest to make friends at the start of the year, but if you're going in and you feel like you don't fit in at first and you just haven't found your people yet, that is okay.
And groups are always changing too. Like,
totally.
People you meet, you're like tight the first month, and then like a little bit later you phase out, move on, and it just evolves too.
So don't be discouraged if you like can't find friends right away. You will find them. Like, another great way too is clubs. Like, you can join clubs. Like, I know it sounds like kind of lame and like, I don't know, but like there's usually a club for your major. So like, my major is communication studies, so there's a communication studies club where it's just basically everyone in the major, which is super fun because like everybody has a lot in common because we're in the same major. Eric is in the food science club, so like it's really fun. Like, there's a bunch of service ones. So yeah, there's a lot of ways to make friends if you don't get along with people like in your ward or in your dorm or whatever.
My big tip with that is kind of like the friends thing, I guess, is like just don't dive in and like try and get in a serious relationship right off the bat. Just be dating casually, and I don't mean like hooking up with random people, but I just mean like getting to know lots of people. It's a great time to kind of nail down better what you're really looking for out of a long-term relationship, because a lot of people, I mean, in high school, I don't know, it depends on where you grew up, there aren't a lot of options for a lot of people, and so maybe you were in a relationship for a while, but maybe that's not at all what you're looking for, really.
Don't come to college in a relationship, okay?
Unless you are, and that's fine.
I mean, for me at least, that is what worked best for me, because I went into college and I had this boyfriend that I was with in high school, and
don't be afraid to move on from your high school relationship.
Yeah, like I know it's not gonna apply for everybody. I know some people like are actually really serious and it works out with their high school sweetheart, and that's great, but for me at least, it was better just to break things off. I wish I broke things off before I went to school. I broke things off a couple weeks into school. So anyway, yeah, when you're in college, don't be so focused, like especially if you're a returned missionary, don't go in and only be dating to find the person you're gonna marry, because it's not fun. Like, dating really is a fun way to make friends and
date to get to know people, and then as you get to know people, something will happen down the road.
Exactly.
But just try
don't
to get
get married your freshman year.
Unless you do, and that's great.
If you do, that's fine, but I mean, these are our tips from our experience. Another thing, even if someone like asks you on a date and you're like, oh, like I don't know if I could see things going with them, anything going with them, don't lead them on, but don't say no just because you can't see them marrying you. Like,
there's
it's
no
okay.
danger at a first date. Well, unless there's true danger, then don't go. But there's no danger.
What's that?
if you're afraid they're gonna like abduct you, don't go. But
oh my God.
Aside from that, like really, just go have fun, have a great time.
Yeah.
You don't need to act like it's your favorite date in the world. I feel like that's the other trap, is I feel like especially girls tend to say, oh my gosh, yeah, let's go. And then they're like, this was the best date ever. And then I had friends that they were like,
she said the date was awesome and should totally do it again, but she's not answering my calls. What's going on?
be open, be willing to go on first dates and stuff, but at the same time, you don't have to like make people think you love them if you don't.
Okay, I'm guilty. But anyway, yeah, we'll have the dating video. We have 2 dating videos we've done linked down below. So if you do want more dating tips from us, then you can check that out. Also, another thing, it's okay if you're not going on a ton of dates. Don't compare yourself with people around you. Because if you got into BYU, you're probably amazing, super smart, talented. And in high school, you probably thought you were the shiz. I'm just gonna say that. If you got into BYU, like there's a reason you got in. And then you're gonna go to BYU and you're with everyone else who's amazing and beautiful and smart and talented. Don't be intimidated by that. I feel like that's a big thing, and people are like, wow, like I was so like good in high school and now I'm here and I'm nothing. Don't compare yourself with other people. Everyone will find their person. Don't be scared if you see people marrying other people. Like, just don't be like, oh my gosh, like there's no hope for me, because there still is.
Yeah, I mean, that's really good advice too, because like there were guys in my hall that like every single weekend they were going on 2 to 3 dates, and they were just going out there, and I was like, oh my gosh, should I be doing that? Like, why am I not asking as many girls out as them? But like, everyone's personality is different. Don't feel like you have to do it the same way as someone else.
Totally.
But I think the huge thing, like if you really are trying to get married sometime down the road, is just meeting people, however that is.
The freshman 15, okay, if you don't know what this is, it means when you're a freshman, you'll gain like 15 pounds. And in my experience, yeah, here's how I gained weight. I was at the U, but it's set up pretty similar to BYU, where I just had my dorm room and then I had my dining hall. And that's what happens when you have freaking a soft serve machine within walking distance of where you live, and you can go there anytime to get unlimited ice cream. And then I'm like, oh, I'm walking all around campus, like I'm losing all this weight. No, like, no, you don't. And I rode the shuttle all the time anyway. Like,
there is no campus shuttle.
There's no shuttle at BYU, but like,
a lot.
There are a lot of stairs at BYU. So just be aware of that. Don't wear heels. Don't be like me. Like, you can wear little ones, but like, don't be all extra.
I never saw people trying to wear heels either.
Until my first day. Fashion though, really quick. People don't really dress up. Like at the U, people dress up in like cute outfits with their makeup. Like I wore little heels, nothing crazy. But at BYU, everyone is so chill. Like girls will just wear like t-shirts. Like, I don't know, for me, like that was a little bit weird. But yeah, a lot of girls just wore like t-shirts, like minimal jewelry, minimal makeup, like it's all very low key. So just be aware that don't show up like all glam your first day like I did, because it's a little embarrassing. I felt totally overdressed. But I mean, if you want to dress up, like I still dress up, like not crazy, but I still dress how I want to. But everyone else is like just pretty chill, but just dress how you want. That was off topic, but freshman 15, just be very careful not to overeat. Just because the food is available and there for you doesn't mean you need to consume it. Try not to go too far off of what you normally ate. That's just being an adult in general. Now we can buy whatever.
If you come from a home where your mom only serves you quinoa and kale for every meal, and then you go to college and you're like, oh, you know what? McDonald's is 5 minutes from my apartment. Let's get that every day. You're gonna get what you expect.
That's what happened to me. I ate fried chicken sandwiches every day, like chicken patty sandwiches every day, and fries and ice cream. It was like my every meal. Don't be like me. Just
I feel like for me, I don't think I gained weight at all, because I was like really active at college, because I had more friends. We were around doing random stuff, and so
they'd go like play ultimate frisbee.
Mimi thinks it's dumb scaring.
No, I know. It's okay if you play it. I just think it's kind of funny. This reminds me of something you play with your dog. I don't know. Another
thing too is like coming into school, it kind of goes back to what Mimi mentioned before about how you did awesome at high school and now you come to college, and it really is a whole different setup. Some people do great. They transition right into college and they get great grades and they rock a 4.0 and you're like, dang, cool.
But that's not common.
But that's not normal, I would say. Most people, classes are a lot harder than they're expecting, and that's not to scare you, but it's just to say that 4.0 is not a realistic goal at college, and it's also
is average.
It's not really necessary either. I mean, each major is a little bit different, so you gotta know your major, know what you're trying to go for. If you're trying to go for med school, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're setting yourself up for a really hard road because it takes crazy good grades and work. But for the majority of people, just realize that even if you get a B in a class, like
A B, oh no!
it's okay. That really won't hit your GPA. You'll still do great. For a lot of people, you can get a bunch of C's and still turn out great with your GPA. Because really, for a lot of jobs, it really depends on the industry, but a 3.0 to a 3.5 is great coming out of college for a lot of jobs.
Like in the grand scheme of things, if you don't have a 4.0, it's okay. Like what's more important is that you take care of yourself, have friends, have fun in college. College isn't just to get an education. I mean, it's like the best couple years of your life possibly where you just have so much fun. So anyway, don't stress too much about your grades.
There's both extremes to that. Like obviously you don't want to just slack off, not show up to class ever, or not do any assignments, but if you miss one assignment, don't freak out. If you don't do as well on one test, don't freak out. Just take that as feedback that you can do something a little bit better. A lot of people realize like their study habits from high school don't really work in college or things like that. It's time to adapt. So if you bomb your first test or something, just take that as feedback, because it's something you need to change or improve to do a little bit better moving forward.
Also, but going along with that too, with taking care of yourself, I know we're saying like, well, get sleep first of all. However, the first couple weeks, don't be afraid to lose a little bit of sleep to not miss out on opportunities to go have fun and meet people. But once you get into your schedule, like try to get a good 7 to 8 hours of sleep, take care of yourself, call your mom. Your mom misses you, okay? So call her. Don't get too busy for her.
Or your
That's
dad.
so
Who
rude.
knows? People
Or
have
your
different
dad.
relationships.
Another thing about being homesick, I was very homesick, which is so dumb because I was like less than an hour away from my hometown and I could drive to go visit my family whenever I wanted.
And I wasn't homesick at all. I mean, it was just, for me, I was just used to being away and it was normal. I was like, I'll be gone for a bit, I'll go back, no big deal.
Which I don't understand. But some of you really will get homesick. Just know it gets better. Like the first couple weeks were the hardest for me because it was like a month until I went back and visited. Which doesn't seem like that long, but I'm really close with my family. Your first month will be hard, okay? Just call your mom, make time to do FaceTimes, group FaceTimes. Everything will be okay because once you're a month in, you're adapted into your own new schedule, your routines, and you won't get as homesick anymore. So just know, if you're homesick, that's okay. You'll get the hang of it, and really the first month is the worst part. And then everything will be fine.
If you're trying to keep a scholarship, you gotta think about this, all right? You gotta keep your grades up to get the free money. So if you take an easier class, easier to keep your grades up and adjust to school and get everything situated. So some people recommend that. Depends on your major. Sometimes you're gonna have a packed schedule no matter what. A pretty heavy course load, honestly, is like 15 credits. I know the max at BYU is 18, but
don't take more than 15.
but
Not your
15's
first
pretty
semester.
full, really. You'll know yourself, you'll know your own study habits and everything like that. But also along with that too, don't be afraid to drop a class if you realize that your schedule's a little overloaded. You can always shuffle things around, except for like a select couple of majors where you have like tons of major classes. Usually you can shuffle stuff, so don't worry about dropping a class if you need to. Don't feel like you're a failure or anything, like totally normal.
Also, there are some fun classes at BYU. They're under student activities, right? That's the course name. Anyway, there's fun classes. Like I took racquetball, there's dance classes, there's bowling.
Yeah, a lot of them are like a half credit class.
And there's not like homework, but it's a good way to stay active if you're having a hard time staying active. There's like cycling, so anyway.
Good place to meet friends too. Another big thing is like the professor could make or break a class for you. Like a class, a lot of people are like super nervous about American Heritage. And they're like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be the worst class ever. But like, my friends took it one semester and I took it the semester after, and just comparing how much work I had to do compared to them, it was crazy how different it was. They had like this fat packet for the class and to read everything, and mine was like this. And like, just from one semester to the next, it depends on the professor and everything. So if you have friends or relatives that went to whatever school you're going to, ask them about it. RateMyProfessor.com is really good. It gives you ratings for the professors, so you can kind of see. And make sure you look at which course it is. Sometimes they teach different courses and they'll do one easier or harder or whatever. And I mean, sometimes classes are just harder in general. A lot of majors have, they call it like a weeder class, or like where they're trying to weed people out of the major. And so they just have like, you know, you get to your second or third class in the major and it's super hard just for the sake of trying to make sure you really want to be there and that you're actually cut out for it. So if you're in that kind of class, it's gonna be rough. just get ready.
Order your books online. At the BYU bookstore, everything is marked up, and if you have time, like some professors are like,
the second day of class, you need your textbooks.
But most professors are more lenient because they know books at the bookstore are more expensive, so check on discount like websites online and try to order your books online. So we already mentioned there are a ton of stairs, don't wear crazy shoes, and just know you'll be walking around a lot.
But honestly, overall, campus isn't that huge. It's not too bad. Just take your time the first couple days, you'll get used to it.
You don't need to bring a car. However, Eric mentioned that when we were talking, if you have a car, you'll be very popular, which I did notice. I was the one who would like drive my friends to go to the grocery store and everything, which is kind of like annoying sometimes, but being the person of the car is not too bad. So the Wilkinson Student Center is kind of like the main, like, I don't know, building where there's food. A lot of events happen there.
Yeah, so the Cougar Eat is in the Wilk, as well as the big central courtyard. That's where they have the club fair at, or whatever they call it. A whole bunch of clubs there, so a lot of people hang out there. It's a good place to meet up with your friends after classes and stuff.
It's kind of central.
In the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Food at the Cannon Center, some people love it, some people hate it. I mean, I think for me, the food itself was really good. It's just if you're eating the same things, they rotate through and they do a good job of giving variety, but I mean, you kind of get tired of it. Realize that you can actually use your meal plan at Legends Grill. I don't know if anything's changed since I was there, but yeah, Legends Grill. And then there's also the Sky Room, which is a buffet up on the 4th floor of the Wilk. Not many people know about it, but there's an elevator close to the Cougar you can take up there. It's a little bit pricier, but it's on your meal plan. So you just kind of need to know how much money you have on your meal plan and kind of play your balance or whatever. Some people are really tight on money and other people have tons of money just because you're like not eating breakfast in the dorms, or I mean, you're not going to the Cougar Eat to get breakfast. Like, I just bought some milk and cereal and kept it in my fridge and had a bowl in my dorm, and that's what I ate for breakfast. So then I had a bunch of extra money, so I could go do random stuff like that. There's also the MOA, the Museum of Art. They have a cafe
really cool.
there.
Yeah.
So there's different things you can do to mix it up and have different food.
Oh my gosh, and we're wrapping up this video now, but I'm realizing there's so many other things that we could talk about, especially if you guys have questions about specific things. Please let us know. We would be happy to make a part 2, right? I would. Thank you guys so much for watching. Just have fun, be humble and kind, be inclusive. You'll have a great experience at BYU. Honestly, it's an amazing school. If you have any questions for part 2, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Since I'm a smaller YouTuber, you don't want me getting lost under all like the other bigger YouTubers that you follow. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed so we know to make more of them for you, and I'll have all of my social media links down below. One last thing before we go, I want to give a very special shout out to our Sunflower Squad Member of the Week. And this week, our shout out is going to Abby Ward, or Michigan Abigail on Instagram. You guys, Abby is beautiful, and seriously, she has such cute pics on her Instagram.
She's going to BYU?
I don't know, but she's from Michigan. I'm from Michigan. Love that for us. Anyway, she just has like the cutest pictures. Did you draw this? Abby! Girl, okay, she's so talented at drawing and everything too. So Abby, thank you so much for your support. I see all your comments, girl. You're awesome. Thank you so much for supporting me and supporting my channel. And if you're interested in being the next Sunflower Squad Member of the Week that gets shouted out, all you have to do is 3 things. First, subscribe to my channel. Second, hit the notification bell. And third, comment below with a little sunflower emoji or saying that you're in the Sunflower Squad with your Instagram username so I can give you a shout out in the next video. I do random shout outs every single week. So thank you all so much again for supporting and watching this video, and we will see you guys in the next video.
Go Cougars!
Go Cougars!